Hello and welcome to Module 9 for ED 584. As we go into this module, the introduction, picture I have provided this time is one of the Sawtooths near Stanley, Idaho. And this is one of my favorite places in our state to go and take photos. It's really beautiful looking back at the Idaho Sawtooths. And I took this in early spring back in 2014. Moving to the introduction, this module introduces us to the factorial ANOVA, specifically with a focus on the two-way between subjects design. Just as a heads up, this topic is a bit more involved and conceptually tricky than our previous work with the one-way ANOVAs. In previous modules, we examined the one-way ANOVA where there was a single independent variable or factor. With multiple levels. In the case of a two-way factorial ANOVA, we add an additional independent variable to the research design and analysis. In other words, the two-way notation indicates that there are two independent variables or factors. The analysis examines the relationship between the factors and the dependent variable. The analysis also allows us to examine the data for interaction effects between the two factors or the multiple factors. When investigating interaction effects, it is the primary reason to implement a factorial ANOVA design. For this module, we keep our focus on the two independent variables, two-way design. But one could expand this design into a three-way factorial ANOVA. The three-way ANOVA would examine three independent variables and their effect on the dependent variable. With the addition of each factor, the complexity of interpreting the results increases. It is not common to see ANOVAs used in the behavioral research literature with greater than three independent variables. Through our readings, we will examine the mathematical foundation behind the two-way between subjects factorial ANOVA. Once a good conceptual understanding of this foundation is developed, SPSS can be used to do most of the number crunching for us. And actually, just so you know, when I was going through my doctoral program at Virginia Tech, I learned, that was before SPS, and SPS was available, but my instructor required that we do many of the figuring out the statistics using longhand and using the equations, and then she brought in SPSS for us to complete that work. So it really helped to learn what the foundation, the conceptual foundation for the statistical measures were. You can go ahead and read the learning objectives. And then when we get into the directions is review the module objectives and scan through the assignments and the readings. And then for the activities, we've got videos, introduction to the two-way factorial ANOVA. The video supplement do not replace the readings. Depending upon your preference, you may prefer to watch the videos before reading the text. You may prefer to read the text before watching the videos, whatever is best for you. Here's a figure that outlines the basic process to follow after conducting the initial steps of a two-way factorial ANOVA procedure. The videos and the readings will help to address this and make this clearer. Then we've got web connections for videos, and there are 4 parts to the factorial ANOVA introduction. Okay. And then for the readings, Chapter 14 in the Statistics for the Behavioral Sciences, and then we've also provided the supplementary PowerPoint, and then in How to Use SPSS, section 6.7 on factorial ANOVA. I've also provided a link, Research Methods Knowledge Base, and this website will provide a good foundational knowledge of the factorial design. Although it presents some of the same information as the statistics for the behavioral science, the different presentation style and example may be helpful in developing a thorough understanding of the factorial designs. Quiz 8 is the assessment for the readings and the activities. And then Module 9, reflective commentary. And remember to receive full credit for the reflective commentary. You will need to submit your reflection and then respond to either 2 of your classmates or 1 classmate and my 2 cents. Some things to think about as we move to the next module. There are many tutorials published on YouTube that address the use of the statistics in research. The quality of these tutorials vary, but some are very good. A practically well-done tutorial addressing the factorial ANOVA can be found, and the link is provided here, and that will get you to that recording, which does a really nice job of going through the ANOVA, the factorial ANOVA. After becoming familiar with the factorial ANOVA and how to use SPS to conduct the analysis, reflect back on the other forms of ANOVA procedures and how those are similar and different from the use of the factorial ANOVA. Consider the assumptions of the ANOVA procedures and how you might go about checking to ensure they are adequately met. Both the statistics for the behavioral sciences and how to use SPSS textbooks provide good examples of how to summarize the ANOVA results. Please be sure to review those. And in the next learning module, we will review and build upon our knowledge of the ANOVA procedures in SPS chapters 12 through 14. Just some reminders. The Moscow face-to-face, and this will be corrected in the introduction. It is on March the 5th, not March the 6th, and the time for that will be 5 to 7 p.m. So I'll go in and correct that time, the date and the time. Then I will be in Coeur d'Alene March the 7th from 5 to 8 p.m. And please let me know, please RSVP if you will be attending either of those. And these face-to-face discussion sessions, it'll give you a chance to brainstorm, bounce ideas off of me for your final project, your draft, where you'll have your draft research proposal due on March 15th. And then you'll have the final presentation and the final paper due at the end of the semester. And again, those face-to-face discussion meetings give us an opportunity to brainstorm over ideas. And it's my goal that your final projects, your draft research proposal leading to the final projects, those will be for either your thesis, if you're working on a master's thesis program, or your doctoral dissertation if you're working in a PhD or EDD program. And also, we're just a short 2 months away from the end of the semester, the deadline for when the final project and the final presentation. One other thing I'll remind you of is the assignment on the research presentation summary by the University Council for Workforce and Human Resource Education. And I have noticed that several of you have already signed up for that. Please go in if you haven't and register for that. That will be on Thursday, March the 22nd from 3 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time, Boise time, 2 to 4 p.m. Pacific or Moscow time. If for whatever reason you won't be able to attend on that day, we will be recording it, and it will be archived so you can watch it at a later date. Another alternative, if you're unable to attend, is I've got the dissertations because I facilitate the Outstanding Dissertation Award, and I would be more than happy to send you one of the dissertations to read over and review, and I've also got a rubric to help score that, but if you want to use that as an alternative, just let me know. All right. Looking through the rest of the module webpage, here are the links so that you can go into the videos, a link to get into the PowerPoint presentation, and then the other for the factorial designs. And I've also provided a link to the Introduction to Two-Way ANOVA, factorial analysis. And also the assignments, the quiz, the module reflection, the research proposal, and also a link for the research presentation summary. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. And I look forward as we move into the month of March. We get towards spring break, and the modules we will be taking a week off in putting these out as we hit spring break, both in northern Idaho and also at the Boise and southern Idaho. So let me know if you have any questions, and look forward to reading your work as we move forward. Thank you.